6 questions, 5 West Ham fans. This is the Hammers Chat season preview.
I just hope it's good. I hope it's entertaining. I hope that we go to the ground with a spring in our step. I hope we're looking forward to the football each game, because if we are looking forward to the football, we'll know that the last game has been good and the football itself has been entertaining. I just hope that Pellegrini managed to put his stamp on the team and we're in almost every game with a chance of winning. That would be great. And just to be entertained and score some goals. Obviously a cup run would be the cherry on the cake.
I hope to see us take the cup seriously this year. It's all I've ever wanted to see. We've not done it. We did it a little bit under Bilic. We always came up against top opposition in those rounds and we failed there. I'm hoping Pellegrini's got what it takes to get us beyond those teams, and also good attacking football, intent to win every game. That's what I want to see, a change in attitude of this football team, an identity, if you like.
Quality good football, some good attacking quality football, and a cup run.
To hopefully win a cup and to not worry about relegation. You know, too many seasons now we've been worrying about looking over our shoulder, especially since we've been in the Space Bowl. So I want to be clear of relegation, hopefully halfway through the season, and then we can just look up from there onwards. So mid-table finish, and I want to hopefully win a cup.
My hopes for the season are a top half finish and a decent cup run. I think that we have finally found a formula potentially under Manuel Pellegrini that will work. I'm expecting us to play fast, free-flowing, attacking football. And I think that we've got a squad deep and strong enough now to be competing in either the League Cup or FA Cup and going to the further round. So I think it would be deemed a failure if we weren't, with the money that we've spent, or aiming for at least the top half of the table, and definitely pushing for either the League Cup or the FA Cup semi-finals or even the final.
I think Anderson. I think I've seen him. Watched him live one of the pre-season games, and I've also watched him obviously on some of the pre-season games on the old laptop and everything. And he looks good.
Yarmolenko, I think he's got what it takes to contribute assists and goals, and that's what we've been missing from anyone but Arnautovic last season a little bit. I've got the confidence in Yarmolenko. He can play the Pellegrini way. He can go out wide. He can cut inside. He can switch wings as well, and I think that's important under Pellegrini. I think he's going to be the interesting one. At 17.5 million, I think he's an absolute bargain.
Probably be Fabian Balbuena. I thought he was absolutely excellent in pre-season. I didn't honestly know much of him before he came into the squad, and I was actually pleasantly surprised how well he commanded that back four. In the pre-season games. Admittedly, I know it was only pre-season, but he had almost the mouth and to speak to Ogbonna and to control it, and his passing ability looked fantastic from there. And with Reed potentially on the downward spiral in his career, and we all thought that Diop would start at centre half as well. So actually to see Balbuena come in for such a small price with such a good reputation from the Brazilian fans, I thought he did excellent. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can produce next season.
I'm actually going to go with Ryan Fredericks. I think the team has lacked pace for quite a long time, and I think he's going to give us that in abundance. I think the way Pellegrini's going to want to play, you're going to see this geezer bombing forward, overlapping, and causing opposition fullbacks a real problem, but also opposition sort of wingers as well a problem. It's gonna help us in terms of they're going to have to double up and certainly pull the winger and the fullback back into place to help defend. So yeah, Ryan Fredericks is my choice.
Andrei Yarmolenko, I like that kind of attacking, quick, skillful player, but also he's a bit of a unit. He's got some physicality. I think he'll get into the Premier League quickly. Yeah.
In my opinion, and anybody that watches this regularly will not be surprised when I say Nathan Holland. I think this is going to be his year. I think there's a good chance for a breakthrough. He's a wide player. Haksabanovic is obviously going out on loan, as we expect. And how many games Yarmolenko and Anderson are going to play with regard to fitness is going to be interesting to see. If they're both fit for every game, I'll be very, very surprised. So I do think we'll see Nathan on the bench this season. So hopefully it will be his breakthrough year.
I'm going to say Josh Cullen, because I think he's been given a chance. I think it's one of the reasons why we haven't got a defensive midfielder in, is because I think Cullen's going to be given an opportunity. We'll get in the match squad at least. He's going to, obviously, I think he's going to be played in the cups. and I think he's going to potentially, if we get an injury, fingers crossed, well, touch wood and all that, we don't get an injury. But no, Cullen. I think Josh Cullen's going to be the one to watch.
He's not going to be at West Ham next season, but Marcus Brown's just gone out on loan to Oxford. I think he's the one to watch for all Hammers fans. He's now in a crucial period of his career where it's make or break at West Ham while he's not at West Ham. And if he can get the chance at Oxford, which I'm sure he will, I'm hoping he can grab it because he's definitely got the talent. He's definitely got the ability. Let's see if he's got what it takes to step.
And that is Said Haksabanovic. I know he's joined Malaga, but thankfully he'll probably be starting most weeks. And I hope that when he comes back to West Ham next year, we can finally sort of see that creativity and see him begin to thrive under Pellegrini, because from all accounts, Pellegrini liked what he saw of him in pre-season.
Ben Johnson in the under-23s, right back, very, very good player.
I actually think that Andrei Yarmolenko will disappoint this year. I'm not sure how much game time or if he will be starting every single week. He disappointed when he was at Dortmund for the price they signed him for. So he does have a point to prove this year. I'm just worried that he might not do it. But for 17.5 million, it wasn't too much of a gamble.
Tricky one this, but I actually think Ogbonna might be the one to disappoint us this season. Under Bilic in a back four, he looked very shaky at times. You could question if he downed tools for the manager. But as soon as we switched to back three, he was comfortable again. I'm not that convinced. Going by what I've seen in pre-season, he's got what it takes to go to back four just like that again. I do wonder if there's going to be a bit of teething problems with Ogbonna and a new centre-back partner alongside him from the get-go from the Premier League. And I've got a feeling, unfortunately, our Italian stallion might be the one to disappoint us next year.
I think the most disappointing player this season is going to be the player with the most pressure on top of him, and that is going to be Anderson. I think when you pay that much money for a player, which is going to be, it looks like it'll be almost twice as much of as an Arnautovic. Is he going to be twice as good as an Arnautovic? Highly unlikely. Is he going to be half as good? I would take that, actually, but I don't think he will be. I think our expectations are going to be high. I doubt he's going to be anywhere near the player that Payet was. And the trouble is, when you spend that much money on a player, they've got to win you games. Those tight games, this guy has to win. A few of them. This guy has to win us 5 or 6 games this season that we weren't ever going to win under normal circumstances. And I just can't see it happening. So I think from that point of view, he may well be a disappointment. I'm not saying he's going to be crap.
Probably I'm worried about Diop a bit. Yeah, I think he might be a bit of a disappointment. He just looks a little bit frightened in the pre-season friendlies. He looks a bit anxious. And the season's upon us now. I don't know if he's going to start, but I am a little bit worried that he just needs to relax a bit.
Yeah, it'd be Antonio for me. My expectations of him at the moment are pretty, what I expect of him are rock bottom, really. So he can only really improve for me. So if he doesn't, then it's just whatever I think about him, which is, I don't think he's let's not go there. But no, Antonio.
Well, it's boring, but it's the right answer, and it's Marko Arnautovic. Can't see anybody else.
Arnautovic again. Seen what he scored 5 in pre-season, 5 or 6 in pre-season. He looks really, really good. He's going to be a key player for us. I think it's going to be Arnautovic.
Jack Wilshere, because he is that kind of ball-playing midfield player we have at West Ham. I could see the fans really warming to him. The fact he's been a West Ham fan and, his family tradition of it as well, he'll be seen as one of us. I could really see if he has a good season. I've got a strong... I think he's really motivated as well, having been left out of the World Cup squad. I think he's got a point to prove. I think he'll really go for it this year. I could see him having a really good season and us really loving him by the end of it.
I think this one's pretty easy. I think that Arnautovic is going to run away with it again. I think that there's probably a number of names that could probably run him close this year, but there's just something about Arnautovic that makes every single West Ham fan stand up and love. He gets people off their seats. He's a bullish player. He can score 2 or 3 in a single game. We saw that once or twice last season. And I just think that he, on his day, is probably one of the best players outside of the top 6.
I'm tempted to say Martin Noble, but I'm going to go with last year's winner, Marko Arnautovic. All pre-season, he's maintained the form he's been in. It doesn't matter if it's pre-season. He's been treating it like competitive games. He's in full brim of confidence. He's demanded he plays up front next season, and that's what we need to see from him. And I think everybody has got him in his fantasy league for next season for a specific reason. He's going to deliver.
I wouldn't accept anything in the bottom half of the table, but I think, with, like I said previously, with the squad that we have and the players that we now have, we need to be looking at 7th or maybe 8th. But anything lower, I probably wouldn't take after the transfer window we've had.
I'm gonna go a solid 8. I'm gonna go 8th. I don't think maybe Europe. Who knows? 7th or 8th. I'm gonna go 8th. 8th, yeah.
Well, I reckon we're going to finish between 10th and 8th, so I'm going to go for 9th.
I'm going to say 10, and that's purely because I think we will take the cup seriously. And if it's the League Cup especially that we go further in, I think there's going to be a sacrifice when it comes to league points here and there. I think Pellegrini might rest 1 or 2 players in Premier League clubs, because I think we'll be safe. I think we'll always be in the mid-table, never looking over our shoulders. I think Pellegrini will prioritise cups over league games now and again, and that might have a knock-on effect come the end of the season. But as long as we play good attacking football, 10th's a good season considering the other competition around about us.
I'm going 11th, and that's a bit optimistic, I got to say. So I didn't want to be too glum, but I do think 11th will be a very, very good season for us. I think it's too easy to say we're going to finish 6th and 7th. I just can't see it at the moment. 11th, and I'll be very, very happy with that.
Anyway, there you have it. Predictions from the 5 West Ham fans on Hammers Chat. We want to know your answers as well, so please comment below with your Ham of the Year prediction, which player you think will disappoint us, which signing we need to look out for, your youngster to look out for, and also what you're hoping for this season. We'll be here all next season with a preview of every single game, a review of every single game. But if you've enjoyed this video, drop a like on it. If you're new around here, subscribe, and we'll see you very shortly.